What up, peeps? It's your girl, Josh, coming back to you for all takes. Today I'll be doing a review to the movie titled The Possession of Hannah Grace. It's starring Shay Mitchell. Now, this one, I remember showing you guys, I did my reaction. I discussed it, how I was excited for this because, of course, being horror. And then also kind of a dabble into a little bit of a storyline dealing in exorcism. As many movies over the decades that I love. I can say, of course, one being like The Exorcist, what is it, The Last Exorcism, and then The Exorcism of Emily Rose being another one of my favorites. And now I was excited to see where the storyline would go and take this, being that, of course, with Shay Mitchell's character, her name in the movie is Megan, and she is actually a cop who actually deals with a traumatic experience, ends up going into rehab, comes out, and is given a chance with a particular job that's considered like a graveyard shift job, working in a hospital in the morgue department, located, of course, creepy factor, the basement. Now she comes across one of the other nights she's been there where she gets a cadaver by one of the ambulance guys or drivers who brings it in, and it is hence Hannah Grace's character. Now for me, I will say off the cuff, I won't say the movie was really awful bad, but I will say that I really did enjoy it for the simple fact that even though from the premise of the trailer, the storyline, I feel like with this particular storyline, it was like they give you the overall understanding of it in the trailer, but it wasn't fleshed out because it was almost like they tried to spread it. Okay, we know this girl named Hannah Grace, of course, and over the course of the movie, you get little scenes and clips of understanding, the situation of how this possession happened, what was the situation with her, dealing with either depression, whatever, and of course some sort of angry, evil spirit took over and all that, and the man in the movie, his daughter is now lost, and he's trying to rectify the situation, wreaking havoc, doesn't want her to cause any other issues. So of course, as you saw in the trailer, they kill her, they think they killed her, and she's dead, but she of course is not. Now we do dabble in understanding of why her eyes look a certain way. When you see pictures of her, when Shay Mitchell's character playing the name Megan does the background check, her eyes are supposed to be brown, but of course when you see her laid up there, slightly burned, body all contorted, her eyes are blue. Understanding that premise, understanding why every time she would come back and pull her out, whatever, certain parts of the body started to heal, whatever. Those parts, don't get me wrong, are fine, but overall, honestly, it wasn't a lot going on. The creepy part of it wasn't so much creepy. I will say this, Kirby Johnson, and I'm gonna post some pictures of her. I can see why she was chosen to do this particular role, because besides being an avid dancer, ballet dancer, she's a contortionist, so she does her parts very well with that. Now sometimes the CGI was not up to par, I'm not gonna lie about that. It was sometimes obvious, you could clearly tell, but other parts you can clearly see it is her. For her character, we don't get her fleshed out enough where they show her, doing day-to-day stuff, where prior to her being possessed. She just goes straight into the scenes of her father, and of course the priest trying to do it. And of course it is known through the character who plays her dad, them trying it multiple times, but for some reason that particular evil spirit just hung tight to her. And it seems like, and let me just put it out there, I'm going to note this anyway, somewhere in my subject, but I'm just going to spoil this real quick, because I'm just going to tell you guys, because I would just keep your money. I wouldn't even waste my money. But the thing is, for her to heal herself, she has to kill and keep killing due to this evil spirit inside of her in order to, rejuvenate her body. Because when you see her and she opens up her cadaver to look at her body, that part was really good, because it was just the way it was burned, the way it was cut around her neck, around her abdomen. It looked the part, it was creepy, whichever, but overall, nothing very scary, honestly. The pacing in certain scenes, I don't know if you all understand the parts where they always show them, walking slowly, trying to get around the corner to see, and then the build up. And then sometimes it's not a build up, and then they go walk down another hallway to another build up, whichever. It just, some of those scenes seem like they dragged on and on throughout the movie. It was just lackluster to me. Overall, of course, there are some other scenes with different characters. As a matter of fact, there's a particular scene with the person who helped Megan get the job, and is played by Stana Katic, who was on a show I love called Castle. So I recognized her face. She plays like a nurse who works in there, and she kind of, checks in with, Megan's character, being that she's the one who helped her get the job. Also, there's a cop, excuse me, played by Gray Damon. His name is Andrew, a fellow cop of hers, whichever, even though she's no longer a cop, but also a loved interest at the time, you know, prior to the situation that happened when she was on duty. So those are two main characters. Now him, Gray Damon, he's been in other shows that I recognize. Of course, he was on The Flash. You know, he's on a show called Station 19. So he's kind of doing his thing. He's kind of very well known, and plus True Blood, which I loved him on that. So, but yes, a decent cast. Again, storyline, no. And then the ending was some garbage. I did not like the ending because it was just like, I feel like I said, the storyline, and this was written by a gentleman by the name of Brian Steve. Mind you, he has written for one of the shows I used to watch back in the day, Teen Wolf. He does writing for this TV series Scream, you know, and he actually wrote it for Boogeyman too. Now, I like the first one. I never cared for the second one so much. But, you know, I'm just curious. But see, this tells me something. I'd heard a while back in regards to this movie, excuse me, that there's a reason why they didn't do certain screenings of this prior to this being released, and now it's making sense to me. This tells a bigger story of understanding why they didn't, because I'm going to tell you, there's not a lot. The possession part, yes, I'm here for that. I like that. But then it was like nothing else to go on. I feel like, you know, one or two scenes with maybe a security guard was probably creepy. An ambulance guy was creepy. But overall, nothing in regards to Megan dealing with the girl, trying to, you know, deal with her body, trying to get rid of her so the spirit would be gone and she would get away with her. Nothing where the spirit took over her. It was nothing like that. The way the ending was, it was just very boring at best. And that seemed to be a lot of movies as of lately, these endings just like they don't even try anymore. And that's kind of one of the things, you know, that I didn't care for. But I really wish that there was a way they could have did a little bit more with that part of the storyline with the possession, of course, being that she's possessed, and then here we are in this morgue and all these things could happen. I wish it was a little bit more people, whichever. Mind you, this movie is only an hour and 25 minutes. That plays a part too. That definitely played a part in the way this was done and the way they paced it. Like they were trying to, you know, do as much to stretch it up to, you know, make it last a full hour and a half, but to no avail. Now, some people might like this, but for me, and as a person who loves me some horror, no, I'm not feeling it, and I'm not even going to sit here and go on and ramble on about it, whichever. I'm like this: save your money. If it comes on TV and you just want it, and there's nothing else on, and you want to watch it, knock yourself out. I would rather you just not waste your money, and I would rather you not waste your eyes watching it. I'm straight up being honest. I know I'm not going to be the only one who feels this way. I know it's probably many of reviews I have yet to see, and I'm going to watch a couple after mine just to see how some other people feel, because I know it cannot just be me. And you know, now granted, Shay Mitchell worked very well with what she was giving, and that's the key thing. I can't even blame her. She's given what she's giving to go with, to do her role, and she did it very well. Whichever. I will say this: I've been you know, keeping up over time, you know, since she was done the show Pretty Little Liars. So I'm very familiar with her, and I like her in that. So this part was good. I just wish they gave her more, because I feel like this is not going to be good. She's normally in other movies where she plays with an ensemble cast. Her being a standalone, like the lead of this movie, and this turning out being not all that great. Hopefully it won't, you know, hurt her in the long run with getting any other movies where she can be like the overall lead of the movie, whichever. But other than that, that's all I have to say about this. My rating out of a 10, I'm giving this baby a 5. You know, that's it. You know, like I said, storyline, if it been, you know, opened up a little bit more, you know, where they could have delved a little bit better, then maybe it could have gotten maybe a 7, you know, like that, whichever. But that's the rating I'm going to give, 5 out of 10. So you guys, comment below if you have seen this. Let me know what you all think. And with that said, I will see you guys on the next review. You guys take care.